in India for 6.5 years. So I certainly love horses. But I may say that I love blokes and people even more.
Good. Talk a bit about your army days. That's where you learnt to fall, I suppose, was it?
Oh yes, that's happy days, extremely happy days, and I owe everything to the army, because it was then that I got into the concert party. Well, actually, I was mad on sport, and particularly boxing. In fact, I became the flyweight champion of the British Army in India. The main reason for that is, that flyweight is 8 stone, and there weren't many blokes of 8 stone in the army, so that's one of the reasons I became the champion. but I was champion, and I used to do the training in the gymnasium, and there was always quite a few blokes there doing their training as well. And whilst I was doing the shadow boxing, that was with an imaginary opponent, I used to allow the imaginary opponent to knock me down and hit me and so on, and that used to make the bloke scream with laughter after a while. And one day they'd invited the entertainment officer in to watch it, which he did, the entertainment officer, I mean. He watched it, and when I finished, he looked at me, he said, "Wisdom, that is in the concert party." And I was excited about that, and I did it in the concert party, used to get very good laughs, and that's how I did all the falls and things. Later, when in Civvy Street, I became, may I say it?
Please say
Robert,
it.
I became a star.
Absolutely, and you remain a star to this day.
Oh, thank you very much.
You were known as Dizzy Wizzy in those days, weren't you?
Who?
Dizzy Wizzy, was that
Dizzy? No, Dizzy.
Dizzy Wizzy, yeah.
Dizzy Wizzy, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, Wizzy, yeah. Oh, yes, because of my name, Wisdom, you see.
Yeah.
Wizzy, oh, yeah. Oh, nice, I liked it. It was better than, I preferred it to Titch.
Right, yes. This sequence always preempts, I think, the Benny Hill song, Ernie the Fastest Milkman in the West. It's very much like a western played out with Milkman. So you beat Benny Hill by 6 years, I think, on this idea.
Yes? And what idea was that?
Well, this idea that he did the hit song Ernie the Fastest Milkman in the West about a milkman set in a sort of western situation.
Oh, yes.
And this is similar to this sequence here.
Oh.
But Benny Hill always said he stole from the best, so...
Oh, well, he was a nice bloke. Benny Hill was a smashing bloke and very funny.
Did you work with him at all?
No, I didn't work with him. I knew him well, though.
Or die. A man's got a right to think and vote. And a man's got a right to drive his float. And if somebody tries to take over his round, a way to discourage him has got to be found, or die.
There's Brian Pringle there, but we saw earlier David Lodge as the man in the vest, getting a bit angry with you. Do you remember working with David Lodge on your films?
Oh, David Lodge, yes. He became a very, very dear friend of mine and still is. These days, when we meet up occasionally, oh yes. Where is David Lodge? I didn't see it.
He was on the scene a little bit earlier than this. He was the guy taking the milk in and giving you a hard time on the step there. But we'll see David in another film,
Yeah.
I'm sure, tomorrow when we record some
Oh, yes.
of these
Oh,
commentaries.
Oh, no, he's still a good pal of mine.
He's a fine actor.
What? I've watched them. Who? The cats. I can't blame them. What are you talking about? You've got bottlenecks with cardboard stoppers in the top.
After this, you made one more film with the Rank organisation, Press for Time,
Yes.
and then went off to America. Can you talk a bit about your days on Broadway?
Oh, well, yes, I was working at the Palladium. When I say working, I was starring at the Palladium, London Palladium. I have to say that, I suppose. Swanking. Have to swank in showbiz.
Of course.
But no, I was starring at the London Palladium, and on one evening, an American gentleman came into the dressing room and just asked me if I would be interested in doing a show on Broadway. And I said I would be very, very interested. And he gave me the script, which I read, said, yes, I'll do that. And when we finished the show at the Palladium, which was a few months later, I went to the Palladium and I did it. It's called Walking Happy, which is a musical version of Hobson's Choice. And there was some, if I may say, good acting. And I've got, in my study at home, I've got all press clippings of American newspapers and all that.
And how long ago?
I've got a headline. Can I
Yes.
say a bit swanky, but it is a headline in the American newspaper, The Times, and it just says, Norman Wisdom is irresistible. Honestly true.
That's a rather nice review.
Thank you, yeah. And I did very well in the show. And I did a film with Jason Robards, who sadly is no longer with us. He died 2 years ago. And
That was the night the Radiominskys, wasn't it?
the night there is Minster, right, yes. I would have been able to stay in America and done work there, but sadly I had to come home to look after my children. I don't want to go into
No.
things of that sort of thing, but I had to come look after my son and daughter. And that was it. I didn't go back to America anymore. I did, 2 shows on Broadway at that time, Walking Happy and Not Now Darling, which was a comedy show, went well, and just the one film, which was successful. Keep telling you the things that were successful, don't I? I am swanking, but still, I did well, so